Welcome back, everybody. Today, I want to do like a bit of a dedication video. I'm not going to be reviewing anything. I will be giving my first impressions of a few things. A few months ago, I received some samples from one of my viewers and someone I know from social media. His name's Keith. He's known as Manly Scents on YouTube and Instagram. And he sent me some samples of what I would describe as classic masculine virile style scents that he's a big fan of and a much bigger aficionado of that genre of perfumery than I certainly am. And I believe most of the things he sent me have been discontinued. I only also received just yesterday a box. It was a bit of a surprise. I think that he mentioned something, but it was a box full of samples of perfumes that I mentioned in the video that I'm about to link to up here. Maybe you can pause this video and go and watch that video, because I mentioned, I did a video about very popular perfumes that I'd never really tried, I guess. And Anuj, Enchanté Fragrance, was so kind. It's not the first time he sent me stuff, but I got a parcel in the mail with many, if not most, of the perfumes that I mentioned in that video. So I'm very excited to try some, as well as a couple of miniature perfumes, and also a couple that I had never ever heard of before. So what I might do in this video, it might be a long one, because I am actually going to smell some of these for the first time on camera. I've resisted the temptation to already try them and waited to film here. So I'm just going to spray on blotters only. It will be just my very first impressions. I've not looked any of these up in terms of notes. Some I'm obviously familiar with, having read about them before, but I thought it'd be interesting to do some of these. So I'm going to talk about, I'll show you the perfumes that I got from Keith first, and then I'll move on to the ones I got from Anuj. Okay, so this first one is from Alain Delon, Iquitos. Iquitos, yes, EDT. So again, I'd heard about this perfume, never smelled, and let's give you my very basic impressions from blotters. This is actually pretty, it's very nice, and it's almost a little, it gives me the impression of a big floral amber. It's a very interesting perfume for one that I presume was marketed to men. It's taken me by surprise, and it's almost giving me like very faint Chanel No. 5 vibes about it. Okay, that's a good one from what I've smelled so far. This one is Nino Cerruti pour Homme from 1979, I believe. This is a lot. So compared to that Alain Delon, this, I'm getting quite sort of almost piney, bright opening. It's like the main thing I'm smelling is pine, and it's very refreshing. Yeah, I like this, but I'm just reminded of something else, and I'm guessing whatever I'm reminded of might have even come after this one came out. It's just, to me, the opening on the blotter is a lot of refreshing sort of pine notes, like fresh. It's a very bracing, fresh air, winter air in the face kind of smell. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so this one, there's a couple here from this brand. It's Parfum Weil, Weil. I just assumed it was German, which I would have pronounced as Weil, but this brand is from France, so I'm just going to pronounce it how they were likely to pronounce it. But if anyone wants to correct me, feel free. This is Kipling, presumably named after Rudyard Kipling. Let's see what this smells like. This is, of the three that I've smelled so far, this is what I definitely imagine as that real masculine hairy chest territory. It's really nice. Again, this has got a green element, and it's like it's compared to that Nino Cerruti. This is a very much darker version of that, if you like. It's very woody and green. Probably dries out. I mean, you've just please understand that I am only smelling pretty much the openings on blotters, but I will test these in a lot more depth at some point. Actually, what I will do is, of all the perfumes that you see on the video today, in the comments, if there's ones that you really want me to focus on first in terms of doing a review or a video about them, put it in the comments, and the most popular ones will get looked at first. This is the second from Parfum Weil. This is Weil pour Homme. Again, I don't know really anything about these perfumes. So far, everything I've smelled has been really good and different. This one here is probably the most animalic of the ones that I've smelled so far. And again, I'm picking up what I think is like a distinct civet note, and it's less floral. It's basically a more animalic, less floral perfume than the Alain Delon, the Iquitos. And this is again 4 perfumes, masculine perfumes of a particular era, and 4 quite distinctive smells. And it's easy to just assume that a lot of perfumes from that era, essentially just kind of smell the same. And I know I'm guilty of having that stereotype in my head, but this is why we have people in the community that are big fans of perfumes, and I love the fact that people are generous enough to want to share what they love with other people. Okay, so this one is from Ettore Bugatti. It's from it's an EDT, Ettore Bugatti, from 1981, I think, or unless I'm misreading that and I'm particularly blind without my glasses. I will admit that this is one that I have sort of smelled before this video. And this, to me, is of these 5 perfumes, these first 5 perfumes, is the one that really, I think, is at least the most interesting. Not necessarily the one I'm liking the most, because there were elements about those first 4 that I really liked as well. This one is the hardest one for me to describe without knowing what notes are listed on here. I really can't distinguish actually too much in this perfume other than this kind of mossy, leathery accord in the base, and it could just be oak moss. But I'm not sure what else is going in here and what ingredients are contributing to this particular accord, but it is really interesting. It's kind of a deep, old, mysterious, sort of mossy leather is what I'm smelling. Okay, so I want to move on to the parcel I received yesterday from Anuj. Now, before I get into the decants that he sent me, I also got these mini. So this is Pinot Silvestre, in case you're not familiar with this. And as you can tell from the bottle, pine dominant perfume. This is really nostalgic for me, for starters, because when I was a kid, my uncle, when he was in his like sort of late teens and early 20s, and he would go out, you know, do whatever people did in the early 80s, late 70s. This was his Eau Sauvage or Sauvage or Aventus of the day. This is very popular back then with him and his friends. And I also got this mini Folie Bergère, which I've never ever heard of before. In fact, I couldn't find it on Fragrantica. I couldn't find it on Base Notes. I did find it on Parfumo. And this actually smells pretty amazing, very opulent, very rich, very complex perfume. And I'm curious to find out a little bit more about it. Perhaps there was just too much competition when it came out, similar things that were available. But I thought that was an interesting, really good smelling perfume that I'd never ever heard of. Okay, so I have a couple of perfumes that I've never ever heard of, seen, talked about on social media. One is called If by Sorel Fontana. I'll put a picture up of it on here. And the other one is a Guerlain, and it's called Parure. And it looks like this, and presumably no longer available or just very, very hard to find. So I'm going to smell If by Sorel Fontana first. If definitely reminds me of something I've smelled before. To me, the opening is best described as fruity, slightly aldehydic. It's perfectly pleasant opening, albeit not that, that amazing. Starting to get greener now. Almost has some grassy notes coming through. That's interesting. Okay, that's worth testing more. Now this Parure from, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, Parure from Guerlain. Let's see what this is all about. I'm a bit flummoxed. I'm not even sure what I'm smelling. Some yellow florals, perhaps. I'm getting some floral familiarities with sort of the classic Chanel's that use ylang ylang, hints of green. Okay, all right. I don't have much to say about that because it's not that it doesn't smell good. It's just I don't really know what I'm smelling. Okay, so this is one that has, I see a few posts about it because people I follow on social media have it or talk about it. This is from Krizia, Teatro, Alla, Scala. I'm so very interested to smell this. I think from memory, when last time I looked at, oh, this is good. This is good. I mean, so far what I'm smelling are the makings of a really big, luscious, theatrical Teatro, floral amber. Oh, damn, that's got to go on the skin. Okay, Teatro alla Scala, I get the hype. Here's one from Guerlain. This is Vol de Nuit, and I am very excited to smell this, and I hope I'm not let down. or, I haven't built it up too much. Oh, okay. I think I like this one. Wow. Just within that first 30 seconds or less, so many different things happened. The first thing I got was this sort of earthy, velvety orris. And then it got a little bit green. And then it sort of brightened up with something more floral. And now it's getting a little bit powdery. Wow, so much happened just in the first minute. Okay, well, I mean, that's definitely also worth testing. All right, so this is Allure Homme Sport Au Extrême. This is one of the ones that I mentioned in that video. It's widely available still. I just never tested it or bothered to smell it properly. So let's just see if I can see why it's so popular. Okay, so the reason this is so popular is because this is a smell that I kind of smell everywhere. When I say everywhere, this is definitely a smell I've smelled on other guys in the work environment, probably in social settings, and it may not have been this perfume, but my guess is it's definitely influenced other perfumes. It is perfectly pleasant. What I still would describe as upper middle class mall scent. I mean, again, I need to remind everyone I'm only smelling the openings on blotters. It's not a way to test and review. But yeah, perfectly pleasant smell, if not a little bit unexciting, I guess. And over here we have Weil à Versaille. Let's see what this is all about. This is, look at the color of that. I don't know if that picks up on camera. Or this is, okay. Of all of these perfumes, this is the most, this is the closest to how I expected this perfume to smell based on what I've read about it, what I've heard about it. So, all the descriptions of it are accurate. It's just huge, loud, in your face, slightly animalic, amber perfume. So much you can tell that there's so much in here. It's thick and really well blended as well, in that you can't really pick individual notes out of it, but it's so lush. It's a bit intoxicating, to be honest. I quite like that one. And finally, we have L'Instant de Guerlain Eau de Toilette. This is Lidge without the E. So let's see what this smells like. Okay. This is surprising. So this smells almost, I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe I had a certain image in my mind, a certain smell in my mind of perhaps more what the eau de parfum would smell like. But interestingly, the things I've read about the eau de toilette of L'Instant de Guerlain, that lemon opening, and then a cacao / patchouli sort of base. And I definitely get the lemon. And it's interesting because it's not a really fresh, bright lemon. It's like a lemon that's been cut open and left out for a couple of days, sort of loses all its zestiness. but it's distinctly lemon. It's like it's had a chance to sort of ripen, if you like. And then I can smell like a very dusty cacao note, not sweet at all. And what I'm not really picking up on the blotter is too much patchouli, to be honest. It makes me really interested to smell the eau de parfum compared to the EDT. It's a really interesting perfume. I'm just taking a little bit. I just honestly was expecting something else in my mind. That was really interesting. Okay, so before I wind this video up, thank you so much to everybody, everyone who's over the years has sent me samples and decants. I know it's not actually, it's actually a bit of work getting your bottles out, finding the sprayers, spraying them in there, labeling them, taping them up, packing them, making sure that they're all safe and they won't leak in the mail. It's a bit of work, and I really appreciate everyone who has ever done this for me over the years, sent me samples of things, and purely for the reason that they want me to smell things that they love or like or find interesting. And I really appreciate that so much. And it's kind of the best thing about this group of people that we've got here is that people want to share. No one wants to be a perfume snob. I love the fact that I'm getting to smell vintage perfumes, even if I'm not inclined to go hunting down vintage bottles, but I love the opportunity to smell it just for the experience, to file away in my scent memory, and it's just a way of people sharing a little bit of their personality, a little bit of their soul with other people, saying, hey, this is what I connect with, and I hope you do too, but if you don't, it's okay. And I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It's something that I hope continues. We all know perfume is not the most affordable hobby for starters, and this is a fantastic way just to be able to try stuff. So thank you to everyone, Anuj and Keith. Thank you for these samples in particular. I hope you're all having a good week, and I will see you soon with another video. Oh, and vote in the comments. Just tell me which ones you want me to review the most. Okay, thanks.